Everybody, Jerome Wright here, and once again you're joining me on my Jerome Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. Okay, in this video I'm going to be weighing in on a recent find, which is almost it's a rock find over in Alaska, in the U.S. in Alaska, and it's supposed to be an amazing rock find like that slash of looking like a face. So if you Google amazing rock head or rock face, amazing rock face, or face like images in Alaska, this image will come up. Okay, and as you see, it is a truly amazing find here. Okay, I believe this is from 2013. My friend Chris is actually she put me onto this. And ever since then, I've been actually captivated by it. Like other things that I'm paranormally drawn to. I have similar finds in Alaska that no one does not know about. And I would go into pulling my images up, but for the sake of this video, I just want to make it short, sweet, and to the point. Okay. Now, as you can see here, this is truly almost like a what you would expect for a pyramid to be, or not, like a sphinx, not a pyramid. I'm sorry, like a sphinx. Chin, mouth, nose, where the eye be, forehead, and even the grass up here even gives this thing hair, if you will. You see, that's like if this thing growing out, giving it almost like a hair-like appearance. And this down here would be the neck. Okay? Now, people have been talking about this, but it's been dismissed by science as being just a natural rock formation, which creates that of an image of a head, which just happened to be just perfectly round like a head, the forehead, the eye, and this, that, and the chin. Now, I'm going to put another twist on this, okay, which actually, hopefully, it brings some new interest in this. You know, it always kills me when you have something as wonderful as this, that you only have a picture taken from one side. Maybe they're in a ship. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what's happening if they're in a ship or whatever. But you can never always seem to get the other side. Or the other side is seen to be distorted or like that. But anyway, there's enough here for me to show you that there is something unique about this. Okay? There's enough here. First of all, they're saying that everybody acknowledges that this is a natural head looking like object created in the stone. They're saying that it's a natural wonder and it has a neck. However, what they don't see is if you take this face and lay it over face down this way, this face comes up back here. On the back side here, there's a chin. There's a full set of lips. I'm going to see if I can bring that in closer. I don't know what we'll get there, but I'm going to bring that in closer and see if we can get that full set of lips, because I'm at full resolution there at 100%. So I'm going to see if I can bring you in. Let's zoom in. What? Oh, I got it on auto face, this detection. I got to take it off of that. I got to put it on manual zoom. All right, let me see where we're at there. If you Google the image, and my finger on there, let me come around to the other side. And let me get this up out of there. Can you see that? Oh yeah, you should see that. There it is right there. There's a set of full lips here, people. There's the bottom lip, and there's the top lip. And where you would expect for that piece coming up towards the nose, that over top of your mouth, is right there. So you have a set of full lips here in what could possibly be that of a face. And then it almost seemingly seems like these are two separate heads here. And there's another one here, people, with another set of full lips there and here. There is a head here, right there, Can you see that, people? There's two heads. There's one head here. And there's another head here. In fact, I may be giving this to you wrong. This may be the top lip. Well, here's a head here, people, for sure. Coming up from the neck. It looks like it's actually facing this. That head is laying this way. This will be the forehead over here. The eye coming down. Here's the mouth right there. I wonder if I can get that in closer. I want to bring that in closer so there's no mistaking here. And let me turn it that way. So here's a forehead. There's an eye. There's a nose. Here's the top lip area. There's a mouth right there. Here's a chin coming down to the neckline. This is a full head right here. Then, people, there's another one right here. And in fact, I may have given this to you wrong. I said that it's going back this way. This would be the bottom chin area under the neckline. This will be the bottom lip, the top lip, and this is going over. This will be the eye area. Here's the head, and it has like a shell right there on top of his head. There's a symmetry cut in the lines, like if this is almost like a sort of kind of almost like a turtle shell right here on top of the head there. And in fact, that would be at the bottom. No, right here, people, right there. So you have two heads besides this head now that's there. So when you Google the image, in fact, I'm going to print this out when I get a chance. And I'm going to draw this out. I wish I would have actually printed this out and drawn it. In fact, that's what I should do. I wonder if I should actually do that. Stop this video and draw them out, what I can see. I wonder, should I stop this video and draw this out? I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. So I'm telling you, besides the two heads that are this head here, there are two heads laying down beside each other here, facing upwards. Two heads facing up, looking upwards here, behind this head here. So you got 1 and 2 laying backwards. Right there. Now, it gets better, people. I wish I could draw them out for you, because it gets better. It gets better. All right, let me pull this out. I'm going to shoot this video and let this video go. But I'm almost wishing that I would have actually drawn this out for you, because I can draw you what I see. Okay, let me point over there. Let's go over here to this object right here, because it gets better. It gets better. I can see those heads now. Amazingly, I could almost draw those heads out for you. Let's go right here. There's an object facing those heads right here. This would be in the water facing across to that. Do you know what this object is? Right there. Now you can Google this image, people, because this is a recent find in Alaska. You know what this is? When I first saw that image, the first thing that came to mind was a frog. The face, the nostril, the eye, the back. I can almost even imagine the quarter leg back here, and even in the front here. I see a frog facing that way. I Googled ancient mythical frog gods in Alaska and all that. We do have frog gods that protect the water. It just so happens that this guy is on almost like a lily pad surface here in the water. So, but the only thing that throws me off is this lump on top of the frog's head there. So I'm saying that if that's a frog, how could this be? Can I get that in closer? I said, so if that's a frog, how can that has that big lump on top of his head? I'm going to get back some because I think I might be too close. You can Google this image too, people, by the way. So I'm saying if that's a frog, how can that big bump be on the back of his head? And so I said, okay, Google frog with a bump on the back of his head. And it came up with the frogs that has the bump on the back of his head. You know what frogs actually have on the back of his head? And it makes perfect sense. The frog has the eggs on their back. It's called a marsupial frog. That is a marsupial frog. It's carrying its egg on the back. This frog is stating that its egg is on its back, showing a sign of fertility in unison with what's going on here. People, it's always been my position. You see my videos here. It's always been my position. People, I'm going to draw this face out for you. I'm going to print this out. Those faces I can see as clear as day laying there on the ground over there. Even from all different angles, you can see the heads. Their heads. Stone heads right here on the back side of that. Now, but anyway, this is a marsupial frog. This marsupial frog, and you can almost see, look, you can almost imagine or realize an eye being there. This marsupial frog represents that of reptiles, reptilians. It's no different than that of the snake with the Egyptian world. Are other creatures across the continent which represents our reptilian ancestors whom appear in certain scenarios just like we have here. There's also one more other thing about this image that I gotta break it down. I just wish that I would have drawn this image out for you, because people, to see the heads in there, it is absolutely fascinating. I'm stating that there are two heads right there. The first head, there's the mouth right there. I'm looking dead at it. There's a full head here. And then there's another one laying beside it. That's the lips to the first mouth. There's the lips to the second mouth. And again, people, you got to Google this image. Go to Amazing Alaskan Heads and bring it up as large as you can. And you can see the two heads there, laying side by side of each other. All right. Now, I'm going to come back out. We have a marsupial frog. Now that I have found those two things, I want to take you, I'm going to exit out of this, and I want to show you something else about this. Oh gosh, where's my marsupial frog at? Okay, hold on. Okay, here. I'm seeing things here in the water. I can actually use my pointer. When this image is turned upright, see the frog-like image. Can you see that, people? Now that I turned that up. Oh, Google natural rock face in Alaska. In this case, I'm on Igmur. Igmur. It's IMGUR. In fact, let me go up there. That's what it's called. You can see it up there. Imgur, whatever. IMGUR. And it's natural rock face in Alaska. Google the image, people, and bear witness to the two heads that are back here, laying down flat along with this head. So now you have two heads in likeness to that of a head and likeness. So you can't dismiss the idea of there being 1, 2, 3 heads in a sphinx-like fashion. So now, then I've identified a frog. Not just any frog. Where's my paper with my frog on it? Oh gosh. Well, I told you what the frog's name. I done dropped the paper now, and wherever I did with it is gone. But we'll just, oh, here it is here. A marsupial frog. A marsupial frog. Here. So now all we have to do is Google marsupial Alaskan frog. But however, people, I'm going to go and stretch it out a little bit. I'm seeing things here. Right there and right here. I'm seeing heads of other things that look unusual to me. When the image is turned upright, I wonder if I can, I'm scared to take a chance on, nope, it didn't do it. Alright, alright. When this image is turned upright, you know what I'm seeing here? I'm seeing a being with the face of like a man here wearing a crown. So if this image is turned counterclockwise, I'm seeing a king-like being, almost like what you would see in fact, do I have my chess pieces? I have my chess pieces. It looks like a king wearing a crown, as you would expect. I don't have a king in here. No, I thought I could pull up a king and a queen right quick, but here, people, there are cuts in the headwear right here that creates a crown. This here creates the head. Let me bring that in. I hope that we can see this video because it seems like I'm losing it now that I pull these images in. Here, here is like a crown in here, almost like cuts. Now I might be far-fetching it on this because there's no way I can actually verify this with all of this algae on this. But right next to it, it seems to be, are we showing you there right there? Right next to it here, right there, seems to be the head of a queen wearing a queen's crown. So right next to each other, we have seemingly have the heads of a king and a queen laying here in the water. Now, I may be wrong on that. But people, these objects over here, you can't dismiss the fact that we have the symmetry in the rock of a head here. And then I've found two more. There's one there, and with distinguishing features, chin, mouth, nose, eyes here, and then there's the lips on that one there. So you Google the image, chin, mouth, nose, going up the forehead, there's the face features of what I'm identifying as a woman figure, and then possibly the male figure over here with full set of lips right there at the tip of my finger. I'm going to leave this video alone, but it's my position that this Alaskan area right here, now I have another Alaskan discovery which is pretty amazing too, that I have never told anybody about yet. And but I think I have it on my, no, I haven't told anybody about the location. But I have an Alaskan discovery too that no one knows about. And I wish I would have sprung it on us doing this as well too. But scientists need to take another look at this, because I've identified this as a marsupial frog. A marsupial frog with an egg on his head, meaning fertility and carrying a seed. Then we have over here a pyramid looking structure. I mean, not a pyramid, a sphinx looking structure with a head, the chin, the mouth, the nose, and the eyes where it's supposed to be. And even the vegetation, the moss grown, creates hair on this creature. And now, laid down are two other heads down behind it, with identifying lips right there. So I wonder how science is going to take and explain this away now as being that of natural. And I would like to see some pictures of the other side, because there are things that could be read, legible things here, because there are things about these rock structures that other people do not know, because our ancient ancestor, which were bridged over with reptiles and reptilians, they created these crust structures to be looked at or viewed upon in a multidimensional sense, meaning that you don't look at them from the eyes of our modern day eyes. You have to look at them in the multidimensional form that they were created, because our creators were that of, with the closer on that end to our ape or African and our reptilian ancestors. So these images create a multidimensional image. My name is Jerome Wright. You're watching my Jerome Wright channel, and I would like to see this go somewhere. Let's see what happens. And again, I got this from Igmur. That's IMGUR. Okay. And you can go there to get the original image. It's natural rock face in Alaska. And when you go on that site, it has some wonderful enhancement on features to where you can blow it up. Now, I'm taking a leap for faith here by stating that this is a stone. Where are we at here? This is a stone structure here of a face of a king wearing a crown that's laid down flat in the water, laid over that way. If it was up, the face would be facing this way. And next to that, I'm saying is a queen, which I could be wrong on, people. But I can tell you right now, that damn sure looks like the cut in the cap of a crown to me there. And this here would look like you would expect for a queen's crown to be. And even back here, I'm not even going to say that, but that almost look like what you would expect for a princess cap to be. But that's yet to be determined. But it seems to me that these rocks in here seem to be of some type of defining characteristics of beings that once inhabited this location, and they had a unique, I should say, genetic connection to the beings that actually are shown, and in this case, the marsupial frog that has the egg on top of his head. I mean, we don't have a frog with an egg on top of his head and a large life stone-like feature, and they're paying homage to this thing as a god. I mean, we pay homage to gods, and we recognize them as our creators. So it's my position that all of these deities that our ancient ancestors were paying homage to as gods, they recognize them as our creators and as genetic contributors to our genetic becoming of who we are today. It's just that all of this later religion that we got, and I need not go into detail about that, put a spin on it, and where we went from worshiping the true beings that cause for our existence, we went to actually worshiping beings that actually are of this world, walk this planet. So, but to understand how that all happened, look at all of my videos, because those beings that are being worshipped as being so divine of our world are being done so, and it's something that's been passed on from the Egyptian times through to current, from Africa through the Egyptians, to even on the Asian, all parts of the Asian world, and through to our European counterparts. These people were always worshipped. You know why? Because they always carried the genetics that were created by that of our ancestors. And this is what this worshiping stuff is all about. The carriers. I'm seeing something right here. It's amazing how these images appear. There's a bunch of things. I even see, it almost seems like a bridge of a horse, of a nose of a horse there. Even up here on the back of this, when you Google this image, look up here. You see cutting and almost like carvings that are genuine here, and has a hidden message right there. If you look down into here, you can see almost like carvings. I can see, I'm almost seeing, and I always see a penis, people. I always see a penis. I see a carving here, along with the penis there. I'm even seeing the snout of a horse right there, with like a strap going across his nose. And in fact, it looks more like that of a dragon or so. Seeing something else here, and all across here, it's look like I'm seeing a glyph coming across the rocks that has a message in it. And the reason why it's not recognizable to us is because we would not expect for this to be here. We would not expect for this to be here. You know why? Because you were taught differently. So you automatically, when you look at this, your eyes are not trained to see this. You know why? Because you're in disbelief. You're in denial about it even being able to be in existence. You were taught to believe that stuff was like this was unreal. Not supposed to be. Because you were believed that everything that came to you came from up here through a divine sense, a miraculous way. You were plopped down on this planet and were created when our ancestors left monuments behind detailing how you were actually created. On each and every continent, it's the same exact thing. The monuments are there. The instructions are there. It's my position that our ancient rooted ancestors, the ancient rooted royalty, ancient rooted religion, they made sure that they went across each location. They went to Egypt. They went to America. All those early explorers, the conquistadors, Christopher Columbus, Pierre Rice, commissioned by the Vatican and by the kings and queens of Spain and Britain, they made sure that they went around in locations like this here. If they would have knew that this was here, the head would have been toppled over and it would have been defaced, and we would not even be able to imagine this much. You know why? Because areas like this were purposely vandalized. They were crime scenes. And you know who was always there first? Oh, you guessed it. The people that were commissioned by those that you worship today and idolize today. Kings and queenships, and that of ancient rooted religion. Globally. They went global and vandalized locations like this. So you would not know who you were. They stole the informations. They took the informations. They bottled it up, rewritten the history, and then gave it to you in a sense of divine sense, stating that everything came from above. When on each continent, there is a manuscript detailing how you were created and how you genetically came to be. through the creatures of this world. Ask your religious leaders. Ask the people that you worship, your kingships and your queenship. Ask them to describe why you have so many different genetic strands in your bodies. And some of them in close proximities to that of the very creatures that we exist in this world. Our ancestors who evolved out of the oceanic waters of our world left blueprints on how they became who we are today. I was just talking to my friend Chris, and I said to her, I said, you know, isn't it amazing how each and every ancient civilization where you find things like this here, they've been defaced. The bottom portions can be complete. If there's writings there, the writings are there because you know what? There's a leader writing there. They can't understand it anyway. But for some reason, always the faces are defaced. You know why? Because in the faces, there are other faces. There are multidimensional images that show how that face genetically came to be. So all of the creatures that cause for that existence of that being will be shown. This could be said for the Great Sphinx and many other ancient artifacts around the world that has been defaced by those that arrived on the scene to destroy them, to deprive you the knowledge that they now enjoy and package up and commercialize back to you. They use it as a tool of suppression to keep you from knowing who you are, while they enjoy the power behind knowing who you are and can do anything that they want to you. Google this image, natural rock face in Alaska. Look at this image, people, here. Your eyes are not deceiving you. Say it's a head, and then look at the other two separating heads. There's two right there, and you will see the faces laying down right there. And you can imagine their faces. I can see the chin, the mouth, the nose. You know, I can see it all, the foreheads, all of it there. Right there, the impressions of it, right there. And then the lips, the full lips right there with the parting line. The two halves of the lips and all. Looks like an upside down heart. The lips are there. And then go to this frog. That frog. That marsupial frog that is facing this sphinx-like creature or structure and has an egg on its back. An egg. Just like the marsupial frog does. It's already in the shape of a frog. And look how perfectly round this is. Like a wart. I thought it was a wart on its back. And I said, what frog has a bump on its back? And then I got it. And when I went to marsupial frog, I discovered that. Oh, matter of fact, I have images of the marsupial frog up. So I'm going to click into that right. Oh gosh, let me see. I don't want to screw that up. Let me get out of that. Come back up. Okay, let me go down to the marsupial frog. In fact, people, before I go out of this, pictures. I'm going to give you a picture of a marsupial frog right quick. You guys getting a free glimpse at. Okay, here's a marsupial frog here. There's a marsupial frog there. See the eggs on his back? Look at that, people. It's my position that a similar creature is what actually appears there. Hold on, I'm gonna give you another marsupial frog because I want to embed in your minds that that's what that creature is there. Can you see that marsupial frog there? I don't want to go too large with it. Let me see where we at. What happens if I go large? There it goes there, and pause. All right, you see that big frog there, people? It's my position that instead of them putting that on that rock structure that I just showed you, they took one of these eggs and put it right there on the back of that stone structure. And for those of us that was aware enough to know that that's what that was because I was drawn to it in that way, you should easily be able to go to it and know that that was your ancestor. I know that that marsupial frog is my ancestor, are a genetically contributing. Whoa, I see a face here. On that, I got to come back to that. I see a face right there. On that Nevada rock. I have to come back to that. And I got to tell you what that is. Wow. I got to come back to that. Because I know what that is. All right. Do we have another marsupial frog there? No. That's it. Okay. I gave you 2 marsupial frogs. So let me back out of this. Make sure we don't have no more up there. Okay, people. Also, I have that image up here too. Let me see how it doesn't really. I'll give it to you in a smaller sense right there on my screen. I wonder what happens if I bring it up large on my screen. It actually goes, and then I'll just no. It actually becomes distorted on my screen. So I'm going to exit out again. Exit out, and I actually have it up here. But you really can't see, people. You're going to have to take and, let me see if I spin this around. See if I can give you that king and queen right quick. It's probably hard for you to imagine or see right there. But turn the image up in this position here. And it's my position that bears a striking resemblance of a king's crown with this first rock. And then right next to it, the one closest, it bears a striking resemblance of a queen and a queen's crown, right there. So, in this order, you have a marsupial frog with an egg on its back, the image of a king with a crown on, image of a queen with a crown on, and then over here you have 2 beings side by side. In fact, I can see the face clear as day right there in that resolution. 2 faces right there laid down on their backs. I mean on their heads, on the back and sides of their heads, facing up right there. And then you have the ultimate image, which is right there. All right. My name is Jerome Wright. You're with me on my Jeronification channel. People, Google this image, okay, and go to Imgur, I-M-G-U-R, if you can, or just go with natural rock face in Alaska, and this will come up. This has some amazing capabilities of enhancement. So go there and agree with me that this is beyond the script of being natural. There's no way, people, there's no way that this is natural and everything else around it is in the natural sense. This is unnatural. This is natural back here. That back there is natural. Back here, the mountains and the snow on it, that's natural, people. This is unnatural. You see that? That's unnatural. So stop letting people tell you what your eyes is telling you, what you're seeing and you're reading with your mind. My friend Chris, she said, I got angry because they're telling me that this is natural and every fiber in my body telling me that that is not natural. Well, Chris, I agree with you. I agree with you. But see, Chris, you have to understand that the same people that has deceived us all along from the beginning, they're the same people that control our science. They're the same people that control our militaries. They're the same people that control our governments. They're the same people that control our medicines. It's a blanket. And that are ancient rooted kingships and ancient rooted religion, which has a stronghold on our world. So they have fashioned scientists. They have fashioned medicine. They have even fashioned the minds of people, brainwashed the majority of the population of our world, that when you see stuff like this, it is natural. Even though I just explained to you and your mind is telling you, no, this back here, these mountains with snow cover are natural. This is unnatural. So there's something here. I'm drawn to this. You know what is drawing you to this? Your instincts that's telling you that ding, 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 ding. My ancestors. There's something about this that draws me to this. It feels like I'm a part of this. I can't let go. I can't stop looking at it. You know what that is? That's that chip in your body, people. That's that chip in your body. That genetically, although you were never, physically you were never here, genetically you were. Because you know why? That chip in your body that came from the part in this creation that calls for this, that information is inside of you. Just like when I looked at this, I zoomed in. You know why? Because I'm tapped into my inner self. I genetically evolved through this. So when I look at this, I look at it in a way as if I was actually there when it was created. Because genetically, a part of me was. All of us have this same instinctive nature within our bodies. And this is why you can go places in the world and be in awe about them. The Grand Canyon, Yosemite Park, and all these other places in our world that had the Egyptian pyramids and sphinxes and monuments globally. This is why you are in awe about them. These places like this. You know why? Because there is a spiritual linking connection genetically. The information through the beings that calls for our existence. That information is inside of us. So when you look at this, there is some sense of recognition and a sense of belonging because this is us. I don't think I could say that no better. My name is Jerome Wright. There's going to be more because I don't have no end. And Chris, thank you for tuning me into this. And I'm out on that note. Thank you, people. Drawn to. I have similar finds in Alaska that no one does not know about, and I would go into pulling my images up, but for the sake of this video, I just want to make it short, sweet, and to the point. Okay. Now, as you can see here, this is truly almost like a what you would expect for a pyramid to be, or not like a sphinx, not a pyramid. I'm sorry, like a sphinx. Chin, mouth, nose, where the eye be, forehead, and even the grass up here even gives this thing hair, if you will. You see, that's like if this thing growing out, giving it almost like a hair-like appearance. And this down here would be the neck. Okay. Now, people have been talking about this, but it's been dismissed by science as being just a natural rock formation, which creates that of an image of a head, which just happened to be just perfectly right here. On the back side here, there's a chin. There's a full set of lips. I'm going to see if I can bring that in closer. I don't know what we'll get there, but I'm going to bring that in closer and see if we can get that full set of lips, because I'm at full resolution there at 100%. So I'm going to see if I can bring you in. Let's zoom in. What? Oh, I got it on auto face, this texture, and I got to take it off of that. I got to put it on manual zoom. All right, let me see where we're at there. If you Google the image, with my finger on there, let me come around to the other side. And let me get this up out of there. Can you see that? Oh yeah, you should see that. There it is right there. There's a set of full lips here, people. There's the bottom lip, and there's the top lip. And where you would... Jerome Wright here, and once again, you're joining me on my Jerome Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. Okay, in this video, I'm going to be weighing in on a recent find, which is almost it's a rock find over in Alaska, in the U.S. in Alaska, and it's supposed to be an amazing rock find like that slash of looking like a face. So if you Google amazing rock head or rock face, amazing rock face, or face-like images in Alaska, this image will come up. Okay, and as you see, it is a truly amazing find here. Okay, I believe this is from 2013. My friend Chris is actually she put me onto this, and ever since then I've been actually captivated by it. Like other things that I'm paranormally expect for that piece coming up towards the nose, that over top of your mouth, is right there. So you have a set of full lips here in what could possibly be that of a face. And then it almost seemingly seems like these are two separate heads here. And there's another one here, people, with another set of full lips there and here. There is a head here, right there. Can you see that, people? There's two heads. There's one head here. And there's another head here. In fact, I may be giving this to you wrong. This may be the top lip. Well, here's a head here, people, for sure. Coming up from the neck down like a head, the forehead, the eye, and this, that, and the chin. Now, I'm going to put another twist on this. Okay, which actually, hopefully, it brings some new interest in this. You know, it always kills me when you have something as wonderful as this, that you only have a picture taken from one side. Maybe they're in a ship. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what's happening if they're in a ship or whatever. But you can never always seem to get the other side. Or the other side is seen to be distorted or like that. But anyway, there's enough here for me to show you that there is something unique about this. Okay, there's enough here. First of all, they're saying that everybody acknowledges that this is a natural head looking like object created in the stone. They're saying that it's a natural wonder and it has a neck. However, what they don't see is if you take this face and lay it over face down this way, this face comes up.